You can't do it to just do it. You can't go, I'm going to be part of this thing because it's going to get me more business. It doesn't work that way.
Like how to be magnetic, how to attract the people that resonate with what you stand for, that resonate with the same view of the world.
And I think every real estate professional out there watching can ask themselves a question, and that's, are they aligned with the cause? Hi, everybody. Welcome to our April edition of Real Talk. My name is Leanne Clary with Homes for Heroes. This is my co-host, Matthew Ferrara, real estate industry veteran and motivator. In case you missed our March Real Talk, I really want to encourage you to go back and watch that. It is on our YouTube channel. We had two of our amazing Homes for Heroes affiliates talk about an event they did called Bets for the Brave. And they had an amazing fundraiser for military veterans, and they talked through the event from start to finish of how to plan it. So highly recommend, if you haven't seen the March edition, go back and take a look. Well, that brings us to April. So Matthew, I'll let you introduce our special guest and get us started.
Great. I am very excited for this week's conversation. I think it's going to be another classic in our series here. So glad to have with us a person I've known for a very long time, is a dear personal friend, but in addition to that, one of the smartest people I know in the world of marketing, and particularly in the crossover between the world of marketing and the real estate industry. And I think for many of our viewers and listeners, it won't be a surprise when they meet and hear from Marc today. So Marc Davison is someone that, when it comes to the issue of cause marketing, I couldn't think of anyone better to have on our podcast here today. So Marc, glad to have you here. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit just about your background and yourself?
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. You and I go back to our pre-gray days.
So I actually had some hair back then. So, yeah.
And I'm losing plenty of mine. My background, I've been in the branding space basically my entire career. Started at a big agency in New York City, Y&R. Learned how to craft messaging, find the value of something and expose it, communicate it. I found myself in an interesting juxtaposition back at the very late 90s, where I bought a home in California and had it home inspected. And I found that process really interesting, specifically because I ended up not purchasing the home due to the inspection. It irritated my real estate agent, who accused the home inspector of deal killing. And I thought that agent had the wrong understanding of what his job was in my role of representing my best interests. But because I had spent so many years in talent management, basically I was doing branding and marketing, but doing it for record labels and doing it for recording artists, I saw potential for talent. That's what my eye is for. Something special. This home inspector had something special, at least in my mind. Turned out he did. He had a journalism degree from Pepperdine. He was very articulate, communicated the issues of the home in a way that really resonated with me. So I signed him to a management deal, and I turned him into a syndicated columnist. And within a year, I had him in like 400 newspapers. That's what I do. And that got Brad Inman to give me a call and ask me how I can help Inman. This is early in the Inman career, 1999, how to get Inman kind of more well-known and branded. And that's what got me into real estate. And it's got its fangs in me, and I've stayed in it. So that's the background.
Great.
I own an agency. We do brand and marketing, and we do it for real estate companies.
And you do it for some of the leading, most productive and prolific real estate companies in the world, which is obviously a sign that you know exactly what you're doing.
That we do. But between us, since this is not going public, I don't really love the corporate work. We also do a lot of individual agents and teams and small brokerage businesses, and that's the stuff I love the most.
Well, I think that's a perfect match then for today's conversation, really, because I think if you take that personal love of working with that small individual messaging and you marry it with the phrase you just used, something special. How do you communicate something special? I think that's
Yeah.
almost a perfect definition of this idea of cause-based marketing. And many of our viewers and many of people who might be just watching this the first time, they have a sense of cause-based marketing. They've seen companies of all kinds do cause-based marketing, whether it's like Tom's or Warby Parker, Bombas have done cause-based marketing, and they know sort of why it resonates in the marketing and customer relationship world. But, whether it's for Homes for Heroes or just any real estate professional, cause-based marketing is an opportunity to maybe shift gears from just doing deals to making a difference with the work that you do. Just talk to us for a few minutes about what is cause-based marketing and why does it work? Like, why would we use that approach as opposed to, or maybe just alongside of, other types of marketing and messaging?
I may need a few minutes to really unpack that. As you're talking, I'm thinking the best place to start would be to explain what marketing is versus what most of real estate does. What most of real estate does, which they call marketing, I would say 100% of what real estate does, they call marketing, is not marketing. It is promotion. It is no different than a concert promoter promoting. You drive by. I'm from New York City, so I see Madison Square Garden. I see U2 performing on the big marquee, and I see the posters, and I get the newsletters. So, product, date, time, how much it costs, buy now. That sums up pretty much most of what real estate calls marketing, but it's not marketing. It's promotion because its job is to inform you of something and sell you something. That's promotional. In the agency lexicon, maybe it's called direct response marketing or direct response promotional advertising. So I guess it's a side of marketing, but marketing, as it really pertains to how an agency would build out marketing, is what you put out is based on what you take in. So within an agency, you would have a marketing department, and their job isn't to write ads. Their job is to learn, do research, gain intel, understand. Like if you think about focus groups that take place between two-way mirrors, where you have a group of people talking about a product, they tell you what they like, what they don't like. The marketing department is running that focus group. The creative copywriters and advertisers are on the other side of the glass taking notes. This is what people like. This is what people are saying about my product. I'm going to use that same language in our outbound communication. The reason why that works so well, and getting to your point, why this kind of marketing works, is because when you really study human beings, we care about ourselves, but we gravitate towards things that are meaningful to us as they pertain to our value system or our belief system. If we believe in community, if we believe in doing good, if we believe in helping others, then we are going to gravitate towards entities that share the same belief system. And it gets a little dicey for companies because companies, a company, their sole purpose for existing is to generate revenue. And sell things, but it needs to find ways in which to sell things other than to promote product. It needs to draw people in and create affinity. And this type of marketing that you guys are doing creates a lot of affinity because it gets inside of people's psyche. People want to be part of something that's socially responsible.
So in a way, what you're describing is like how to be magnetic, how to attract the people that resonate with what you stand for, that resonate with the same view of the world, your values in the work that you do. And it's not even about the product or the service or even the pricing. It's starting first by saying, who do we want to connect with? Who do we want to be around? And
Yeah.
we might have a mutual goal, right? A buyer might need to buy something, a seller might need to sell something, but they have a choice, not just in the price or the service pack that they get from a real estate professional, but the rest of the equation, right? What's the kind of person that I want to spend, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 months or however long it takes to be with during that time? Is that sort of, summarize the positioning of why cause-based marketing is powerful in that case? We're
Yeah.
almost producing a new layer of choice to the consumer.
A new layer and a better layer, because the layer that real estate has been historically taught to communicate is persona. Hi, I'm Mark. I have curly hair and I like music and I have a dog and I have my wife and here are my children. Like, use my services because I'm likable.
Mm.
It's very surface layer because, like, there's a lot of people that are likable. You see a lot of, like, real estate agent marketing, and they're all marketing or they're all promoting their persona. People are not necessarily looking for, it's not the strongest compelling, especially in a complicated market like today where real estate is, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of complication within a transaction. While it might be nice to work with somebody who seems to be funny on video, uh, and maybe that's all you have to choose from, when there's a choice and you could choose somebody who actually sounds like they know what they're doing, or somebody that is delivering back to the community something powerful, that it penetrates you, it gets into your head, it gets into your heart, into your soul. That's where you create a far better connection. Provided one thing, though, you have to really believe in it. You just can't, like, and I think we'll probably get to this at some point, Matthew. You can't do it to just do it. You can't go, I'm going to be part of this thing because it's going to get me more business. It doesn't work that way. You have to really radiate that intensity about being part of Home for Heroes or being part of any kind of social cause. If it's just promotional, it's not going to work. It really has to be embedded into the marketing and the branding.
I want to emphasize that for a second because, Leanne, I'm thinking about our last podcast, right? Our last conversation. And it was so powerful, that particular fundraising activity that they did, because they jumped through hoops to make it happen because, as Mark said, they just truly believed it. They were going to do this whether they lost money raising money, right? They were going to do this because they knew it was a thing they were passionate about. And so for any of our viewers who missed the last episode, I think if you go back, you're going to immediately connect the dots to this key point that Mark has just said. Like, you've really got to love the cause that you're integrating into your message. Leanne, I mean, we see this all the time, right?
I know. And I think Mark absolutely nailed it when he said, marketing is such a buzzword in the real estate industry, but the majority of it is promotion. It's not sticking a logo on something. It's not saying something. It's not just trying to get business with something. It's what are you going to do to align yourself to take the steps to integrate it within who you are and project that that's what you truly care about. That's what's going to ultimately attract people.
Not only going to ultimately attract people, it's going to, which it will absolutely do that. But when it's part of your essence, when you talk about it, it's not going to sound like you're using it as a lever to pull somebody's emotions. It's going to come across as legit, as authentic. That's a buzzword too, authentic.
Yes.
I don't like using that word. I don't know how it escaped. It's early in the morning, so my filters aren't completely on yet. But, like, here's a good example. Matthew and I both know a gentleman who runs a brokerage in Hawaii, who is so passionately dedicated to causes in Hawaii that I get more email from him about the causes. In fact, I rarely get any email from him about real estate or about buying a home or using his services. When I get an email from him, it's all about his passion around this cause. So even at his live event where he got up on stage and introduced people from the cause and donated a half an hour of stage time to an audience that has typically mostly come from the mainland, it's like it's real for him. And it it elevates. See, every real estate agent, this is my non-medical diagnosis of real estate. Every real estate agent knows deep down somewhere in their subconscious that the profession isn't as high up on the totem pole of respectable professions as it should be. We can theorize all day long why people don't value real estate agents more than they should. But when you work with a good agent, you realize how incredible they are to the process. But having something like this that you're really deeply invested in and part of, we get into talking about brand. It elevates the brand perception that you're more than just a salesperson, that you're a person with a conviction to something bigger than you. And it's charismatic.
I want to pick up on that thought for a moment because we talk to all of us in our careers, talk to real estate professionals who, they often struggle between this advice to be popular and noisy and seen and busy and what is it, go viral. There's a phrase I wish we would stop using.
Yes, let's break
Nothing,
that.
yeah, nothing about having a virus, but broadly speaking, there's this pressure, right? There's constant pressure. In fact, recently I watched a conversation unfold about, how much time should real estate agents be dedicated to creating.
Oh, the Gary V
Yeah.
conversation.
And it made me sad in a way. It made me really sad because for me, content is what happens when I spend time with people that I care about, whether they're current clients or prospective clients or past clients or whatever. Like, I don't sit around thinking I'm creating content this week. I am content. I have content because I care about a cause, or I care just about my mission. What's my mission as running my little business? What is it in your mind if it's not about being a celebrity, being well known or busy? What is it that cause marketing does allow a real estate professional to do, even if they're only talking to 300 people in their newsletter, 200 people in their phone call cycle, or having a one-on-one conversation with someone? Like, I kind of think of cause marketing as that superpower, if you will, that says I don't have to fight to be popular because instead I'm invaluable in that sense.
It's a great question. There are the merchants of this, like the Gary V's of the world, they have no interest whatsoever in their audience. They are promoting their services. They are selling a product, and that product is either stage time. Like, the more popular that they get selling whatever they're selling, they can get hired to give more talks and get paid a lot of money. I remember, Matthew, you probably remember that era after 2 or 3, 4 years of social media really becoming prominent. You started seeing people with absolutely no academic pedigree whatsoever giving keynotes at big conferences. They were selling their own popularity to people who will never, ever attain that because you're a service provider. The job of service provision does not include becoming a celebrity. So it's all fake. I get this all the time, as likely you do. Somebody sent me a video clip of a real estate agent. It's had 500,000 views. It was embarrassingly bad. And, the number of shares were really super high too. But here's what that person doesn't realize is those shares were just like the share that was sent to me with a lot of negative commentary about it. In this effort to become popular, you're doing things to create celebrity and personality. You don't realize what the negative impact that might have on the marketplace and what deals you might be getting yourself out of because you're not coming across. So why does cause-based marketing work? It's because on any given day, most people are not sitting around wondering what the most popular real estate agent on TikTok is doing right now. They have no interest in you. They don't care about you. They don't care about you during the whole entire transaction. All they care about is themselves. They have enough to worry about. And when they're not caring about themselves, what else do they care about? Well, they care about their family. They care about their friends. and they care about causes because those are important to them. And when you share your concern for something that they share a similar concern for, that's how you become memorable, because they go, wow, they're into the same thing I am. That's a connection that I can relate to, because, and I want to make this point really clear, this is the house that brands live in. What brands do is create an environment that allows me to see a better version or a version of myself within that brand. Why don't people wear Brooks sneakers, even though they're maybe the best constructed sneaker, and would instead wear an Adidas or a Nike? Because they wouldn't be caught dead wearing. It's
Right.
like it doesn't represent their aesthetic
Persona.
and their
Their mental
exactly.
health, the vision of themselves that they want to
If they're an
have.
athlete, they're going to wear a Nike or a Saucony, because Brooks says therapeutic, and
Right.
nobody wants to project the fact that they're not well.
Right.
So when you use cause-based marketing and you do it correctly, you have to do it correctly. You can't use it for promotional use. You have to use it for branding and marketing. You're radiating that something that's important to you is also to the consumer saying, oh, that's important to me too. That's where now you become memorable, not just recognizable, but memorable. When you become memorable, that's when you start to get more toward, you don't have to promote yourself too much.
Right.
You can create less content because you're creating more powerful moments through that kind of marketing.
So I want to hit on something because we have a couple minutes left here. I want to hit on something that you've just said because it made me think. When I see cause-based marketing, doesn't even matter what the format is, written, a photograph, a video, etc. I feel really emotional. Like there's no cause-based marketing that I've ever bumped into where it's either made me laugh or made me feel proud or made me cry or whatever. Like I really feel as if, it's not just about triggering an emotion, because all sorts of advertising can trigger an emotion.
Yeah.
But it's about triggering an emotion that I actually was comfortable expressing, right? Because it was meaningful to me. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, yeah, someone's on my team. Someone's going in the same direction as me. And it's funny, I can recall those ads. I don't need to save them or bookmark them, or I can recall those moments. I can recall those messages if it was in a newsletter or whatever really easily. And I think this is a key component that you've just pointed out, which is try to be memorable as opposed to try to be famous, right? Try to be something that people say, oh yeah, that's in my mind because it resonates with me, as opposed to, oh yeah, I recall a phone number or I recall a slogan or something like that. And to me, that seems as if that's, quite frankly, a really wide open space in this industry. Not many people
Not
are
many.
targeting that outcome. They're targeting the catchphrase outcome that they think leads to leads, right? Leads to business
Well, that
generation.
they're sold that. We, on average, this is documented, see about 10,000 pieces of promotional marketing a day. You've probably seen 1,000 just in your, if you're working out and scrolling. Every single piece of content on social media is promotional. Somebody is promoting something.
Right,
How much of it do you remember? You end the day and you don't remember any of it. Yeah,
right,
maybe some goofy, funny. I'll remember a funny piece of content, but it's got to be good funny. Like, I saw an SNL skit this morning and it was funny, but it's SNL. They have like top tier writers. The only stuff I remember from real estate agents are like really bad, embarrassing. And then there's stuff like I can't get out of my head. Like, I'll share this with you because maybe this will get it out of my head by putting it in your head. It was a real estate agent putting a sold sign on a yard and then twerked to the camera. And it was disgusting and awful. But I mean, I can't not forget that. But I want to forget that. And I would never, ever contact that person to be my agent. Beyond the humor, like nothing real estate creates is memorable. But if you connect, You just have to, if you can connect with people on the things that matter to people. So you know what also sticks is if you're making a piece of content about something really important that can take place during a transaction that could benefit the transaction. Like you have an opinion about rates or you have an opinion about pricing. That kind of information or educational content could be sticky, but agents have they've been sort of led away from doing all that to everything that's performative. So getting back to what you guys are onto, like if you can build this properly into your marketing, it is sticky and meaningful and is everlasting.
I want to wrap us up there because in a sense, what you're saying is sort of the opposite of what we often are taught in this business, but I do think it gives our audience a opportunity. I often say that some of the words we use in real estate are misspelled. And one of the words I always think that's misspelled is the word commission. Everyone is worried about talking about the commission, and it becomes sort of the focus of what we advertise around, if you will. But what if you hyphenated the word? And rather than talking about the commission, you talked about the co-mission
Mm.
that you go on with people that matter to you. Now, cause marketing walks right through that door, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you are seen as the mission partner of someone who not only has a real estate mission to accomplish, but maybe a bigger mission in life as well with the cause that they truly care about.
I want to add to that because because the work that I do is building brand frameworks. Because you can't build a campaign, any kind of messaging campaign, uh, that doesn't just talk about the business without doing a little bit of frameworking around what the
Right,
brand is about.
right.
So the brand is not the business. The business is the business. No one cares about your business. So businesses create branding, which is a different character that it projects out into the marketplace that it storytells around. People have these mission statements that are ridiculous. A mission statement is so important to have a mission that you're on every day. Everything you do is part of this grander mission to create something better in the universe. When you're cause-based, your cause becomes the mission. And then you can create some bigger audacious vision, which is, boy, if everybody in the world were just on this mission journey with me, then the problem that we are dealing with could go away. And then imagine a better world on the other side of that. That visions are never achieved. They're like, the impossible mission. But it's the one that you're striving for. So you stay on the possible mission all the time. Nobody has a mission to I'm going to sell, and I see this. My mission is to sell 50 deals a year. Who's going to join you on that journey?
Right.
There's no benefit for
It's
me,
not that
but
exciting. It's not compelling. Yeah.
it's all about you and what you need to make money. But if your mission is to help families in the marketplace gain access to home ownership, and here's the 10 things I do, that's a journey other people are going to want to be on. And that's a mission you want to market. That's a mission you may want to promote even. Now, there are techniques for doing that, which we don't have the time to talk about, but
Let's just stop there with the idea that cause-based marketing is the doorway, not just to growing your business, but to change the world. I mean, that's really what you're telling us, right? You're
that is what
telling
I'm
us that
telling you.
this is an opportunity,
Coca-Cola wanted to change the world and have it all sing in harmony by buying soda pop.
right?
Mhm.
It's a device. This is a device.
And we
That-
remember that 40 plus years later because changing the world matters to us. And
it's the better world. What is the
what is the better world?
businesses don't care about a better world. But the brands that they create really care about the better world and tell better world stories. But if it's real, if it's based on a real cause, like you're actually a realtor in market activating your cause, it becomes so real that it could tenfold your lead gen, your loyalty creation, all of brand impression. It might actually make you recognizable and memorable.
Marc, Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. Leanne, you can see why I wanted to introduce Mark to our
Oh,
audience because he calls
absolutely.
us to our better selves, right? He calls us, and cause-based marketing is a tool for us to do that.
And I think every real estate professional out there watching can ask themselves a question, and that's, are they aligned with the cause? And if they are aligned for the cause, are they in the promotional phase or have they moved on to the true marketing phase? And is it really your co-mission with your clients?
Really powerful. Mark, thanks for being with us today.
my pleasure.
You
Thank you,
bet.
Mark.
You're welcome, Leah.
Leanne, why don't you wrap us up?
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast if you haven't already. This is our fourth, Matthew, right? So we'll be here every month, last Thursday of the month through 2026. So thank you for watching.